Okay, this is SteveO McCone. This is at Yellow Falls, part of a level 3-4 canoe instructor course. This is just looking at two different runs down the same section of rapid, the same move. Let's start with the one on the left. We'll watch it in real time through for both videos. Here's the other one. First thing we'll look up is the setup. So in both of these videos, we have a fairly like straight downstream angle. And I think that what we'll end up seeing is a little bit of a kayaker style boof stroke. In this case, where we already have downstream momentum, that is totally fine. Sometimes if we're facing upstream, having the chin over the knees can weight the bow, but here facing downstream, that's not as big a deal, especially because SteveO lifts the bow so much here, coming over this little pour over. Looking at the video on the right, that downstream angle stays pretty downstream. A little bit of paddler's right, river right deflection there as the bow lifts up and over the eddy line. But a lot of this pivot comes from this crossbow draw. And that ends up giving him really great spin, but his angle doesn't get fully back upstream in the eddy, or doesn't get fully back to a ferry angle or a high exit from the eddy. That also generates a little bit of a wobble there. So rather than staying truly on the carve. Now, to be really clear, SteveO still makes this move. Really strong onside paddling there. In this view, his chin does stay over his seat much more. And some good torso engagement there. Nice switch to the offside carve. Turning to the video on the left, here we have just a little bit more deflection to the paddler's right, river right, coming through this. And I suspect that that's from a slightly different timing on this stroke, but also a little more edge as he's coming through. And so there's a little bit more of this foam pile able to pile up on the bow left quadrant of the canoe, driving the bow right. Also, he's a little slower coming through this foam pile. So with the slower entry and a little bit more edge to his right, he's already spinning more than the same point in the move on the right. So here he has some left edge that's driving him almost into a dive move, peeling him back out of the eddy left until he does his crossbow there. Here he's already entering with carving edge to his right, and the crossbow just accentuates that. Oops, sorry. Crossbow accentuates that and allows him to switch almost instantly from a crossbow draw into a cross forward and accelerates up the eddy, really all in one stroke or one linked stroke. From there, he's leaving the eddy much higher, including the tiniest little bit of a wave trough in there. And is able to stay on a much more upstream ferry angle with much higher position across the ferry, even catches a little bit of a glide across there. Do you see the glide and the wave trough there? That's really nice. To get at true polished L4 paddling in this boat, a boat this fast, might even almost need to slide this stroke forward to a bow draw here to open the angle swinging that around to like a 90-degree angle entry instead of a ferry angle entry. So as we watch this entry, because of the wave trough and the upstream angle, there's a sort of side slip into the eddy there before switching to the cross forward to carve further into the eddy. Does seem important to highlight this is really SteveO's third day solo canoeing. So really fantastic arrival at some L4 boating with a few polishing points in a very short amount of time. So SteveO, a lot of what you understand about reading water and high-end boating from kayaking is translating quickly.